What's going on, guys? It's Matt again, and welcome to the PopComplex. Today we're going to be unboxing some of the NECA Godzilla Ultimate figures. So anyway, stay tuned, guys. We're going to be unboxing 4 of those. We're going to be unboxing the 1954 first appearance of Godzilla from the Japanese film Gojira. We're going to be unboxing the 1956 stylized, colorized movie poster Godzilla. We're going to be unboxing the 1964 Godzilla Against Mothra figure. And finally, we're going to be unboxing the 1989 NECA Nintendo game Godzilla, based on his NES appearance. Guys, welcome to my NECA Godzilla unboxing. So I've got 4 different NECA Godzillas here to unbox today. So we've got, on the left, we've got the original 1954 Godzilla from the very first movie, the Japanese movie Gojira, or Godzilla. We have the Godzilla King of the Monsters, designed from the 1956 colorized movie poster. We have 1964 Godzilla Against Mothra. And finally we have Godzilla Monsters, based on the likeness of the NES game, the Nintendo game from 1989. So I'm really a sucker for those NECA NES likenesses that they've been making. So alright, we'll go ahead and we'll start, of course, with the 1954 Godzilla. There's a the front of the box, Japanese writing there. There's the side and the back. Read a little bit of a movie bio there, and the other side as well. Can't really see him that well in the box, but I'm gonna go ahead and not waste any more time, get this guy open and show you guys what he looks like. Okay guys, and here he is out of the packaging. So he looks really good, a lot of nice detail on him there. Get a close-up of his eyes, his mouth detail. Very cool likeness of the original 1954 Godzilla. His tail is quite long. His tail did come separately in a separate piece, so I actually had to dunk that in some warm water for a few seconds to soften that up so I could join that to the ball joint. Take a closer look at his dorsal plates. Very awesome detailing. He looks like he stepped right out of the 1954 film. As far as articulation goes, he has a lower jaw articulation so he can open his mouth. He has 2 points of articulation on his head. He has one here, as you can see, it's more of a side to side, and he has another side to side neck, lower neck joint right here. He has a shoulder joint on his arms so that he can lift his shoulders up and down and forward and back. He has a slight elbow joint here. It is a little bit stiff and restricted by the design of the character. He has what seems to be a ball jointed wrist. He can move that side to side and forward and back. And he has an actual mid-hand, mid-claw articulation, as you can see there, so he can close his claws a little bit. It seems to be pretty stiff. Same with the other arm. Now he does have a sort of a mid-torso articulation back and forth, but due to the design of the dorsal plates, he is not really able to go that far without the dorsal plates hitting each other. And he does have ball jointed hips. He has a slight bend articulation at the knee. It's not really going that far though due to his design. He has an ankle swivel, so it's a ball joint. He can go forward and back and side to side with his ankles on his feet. Now what's really cool is the tail articulation. So this first section before the actual second part of the tail joins, each one of these segments is a separate articulation. So it can go side to side and up and down on a little bit of a ball joint there on each one of these sections here. And then this right here, this section here is where the ball jointed tail joined. So there's quite a bit of articulation there in his tail. And there he is again. And he does come with his signature atomic breath accessory. So if you look far back into his mouth, you can see he has a little slot at the very back of his throat that this actually does join into. So you can plug that in. It's a little hard to see at the moment, but you can pose him with his atomic breath just like in the film. Very cool. So that is the 1954 Godzilla figure. So next we will move on to the 1956 Godzilla, King of the Monsters, designed after the movie poster, which was a stylized, colorized version of Godzilla. He's more green looking in the poster, and he has a sort of an orange effect on his dorsal plates. So it says here that it includes a poster backdrop that becomes a 3D diorama. So we'll take a closer look at that. So awesome and then some. Very cool. So there's the side of the box, Godzilla King of the Monsters. And it's the same on the other side and on the back. I like how they give us a little bit of a 1950s monster movie sort of tone on the back here. So we've got savage action, spectacular thrills, dynamic violence, authentic color scheme just like the 56 poster, diabolical demon belching fire. There's a little bit of a Godzilla bio there as well. So if we open up the flap, there he is, belching his fire, and then there's another representation of the movie poster itself. So guys, let's go ahead and get this open, take a closer look. Okay guys, here he is. This unboxing was a little bit more involved. He does have the backdrop as well. So this is the 1956 colorized poster, movie poster version of Godzilla. He is basically the same figure as the 54 version, the same likeness since it was the movie poster, the colorized movie poster for the original 54 Americanized re-edited film. So he's the same likeness of the 54, same figure sculpt. He just is repainted in the style, color scheme of that 56 movie poster. So his dorsal plates are colored that orange, dark orange we see on the poster, and the rest of his body is colorized in this nice green shading. So all the articulation is exactly the same as the 54, so I'm not going to get into that. I did have to soak the tail again in warm water to get that on, but not a big deal now that it's done. We'll just take a closer look. At his features. Once again, like I said, same articulation. The one major difference is his atomic breath is painted more like a fire breath, like it is in the poster. Like it says belching fire on the back on the poster. So let's go ahead and get that put in place. There we go. Belching fire. Very awesome. Very awesome detail. Let's get him sit down here and we'll take a closer look at this movie poster backdrop. So it did slide out of the box like this. It's like a 3D effect. And then there's the space for him to stand. So there's the blank poster in the back for him to appear in the foreground. And then the awesome and then some marquee style there in the front with the people running in fear. Now I think it does kind of buckle together a little bit with these slots, but based on the design, I wasn't really able to figure that out just yet. There was some cutting involved, but I went ahead and just got it out anyway so I could go ahead and show you guys. So we'll put this down and hopefully we can get him posed reasonably well here. I don't know how well this will go because his tail is pretty large, so I may need to work on this a little bit more later on. But I'll go ahead and fold this out. There were no instructions on how to assemble this, so I'm probably way off, guys. Just let me know if you guys have this. But, well, that's sort of. Maybe I can figure this out and get him in there better later on, but I just am very pleased with this figure. It's a very good likeness. The fire belching is a really cool effect from the poster, and I really like the paint job. The orange, the reddish orange and green really go together nice on the paint job. So there's 56 movie poster Godzilla. So next we'll be looking at the 1964 film Godzilla vs. Mothra. So there's the front of the box there, Mothra on the cover. Japanese characters. There's the side, poster again, on the other side. And here's some shots on the back. And then a little synopsis there of the film. Some still shots of Godzilla. Open this up. There he is. And there he is in the packaging. So I'm going to go ahead and get this open, and we'll take a closer look at the Godzilla Against Mothra. And guys, here we go with the 1964 Godzilla Against Mothra figure. So there he is. Now the body style of this Godzilla is quite different than the 54 style that we just saw. This is getting a lot closer to the classic Godzilla body style that we see, the likeness in a lot of those 1960s Godzilla films. So he's quite a bit different, still very awesome. It's a closer look. His tail is quite bigger. It's a lot thicker than the other two Godzillas we just did, the 50s ones that were designed. I still did have to soak this one in a little bit of water to get him on the ball joint, but it was much easier than the other two tails. So glad for that. So there's a closer look at the face. He does have the lower jaw articulation just a little bit. He does have two head swivels, one where the head joins the neck back and forth, and another here at the lower part of the neck itself. He does have that shoulder joint, which allows his arms to go up and down and forward and back. He has a shoulder joint as well, or excuse me, an elbow joint as well. You can see right here. Now these joint articulation points are a little bit looser than the previous two. The other two felt pretty stiff. These feel pretty loose and pliable, especially this hand claw articulation feels a lot more loose and pliable. And he does have the same swivel on the wrist as well, forward and back and side to side. He does have a mid-torso articulation. It is on a ball joint, and he can kind of go up and over these dorsal plates so they don't get in the way too much. He can get a little bit more range of motion. He does have a little bit of a hip swivel on the ball joint there. Not a whole lot of range of motion because this guy is pretty thick. He does have a knee joint. Not too much range of motion there though, just because of the chunkiness of his leg. And he does have the ball joint ankle swivel as well. Quite a bit of articulation in the tail, where the tail joins the body. Can go side to side. It is on a ball joint and around. Now it's in segments as well, so this segment right here is the same. It's on a ball joint right here, here, and here, and then down on the last 4 or 5 segments of the tail, there's a ball joint there. So much larger than the previous. But once again, this figure really captures that iconic 60s Godzilla likeness that we all know and love. It does come with his atomic breath. This one is designed quite a bit different than the 54 version, but it does look very similar. It looks more billowy. It looks more like a cloud of atomic breath. So let's see if we can get that posed in there. There we go. Godzilla with his atomic breath. Very cool. And now the last one we're going to unbox and take a look at is the NECA NES likeness from the 1989 Godzilla Monster of Monsters video game. Now, once again, I said I'm a really big fan of these NECA NES likenesses. I showed you guys before the NES Jason in a previous video, and the NES Freddy Krueger as well. So I really like the way that they stylize these after the original video games that we all know and love. So there's the front, just like the case of the game itself, the cover. Side just says Godzilla in bold red letters. And the back, Great Movie Monster is an action figure. So it gives us a little bit of a preview of what he looks like there, and a little bit of a bio as well. So let's open the flap here really quick. So it does have the actual board from the game. If you guys have ever played this game, you know exactly what this is. And there he is. He's got the pixelated paint job and the sort of like the bright teal and dark teal colors going on there with the pixel paint. So best way to take a closer look is to get this guy out of the box. And here we are, guys. The NES Godzilla Monster of Monsters. Closer look. Now this is a completely unique sculpt to this particular Godzilla, so it's not a repaint of any of the others. As you can see, his dorsal plates are considerably larger, but it is stylized after the NES video game, so it is faithful to the likeness. His eyes are a really cool red, and he does have that pixelated look to his paint job. He's sort of a turquoise, like a dark turquoise or a light teal all the way throughout, speckled with those pixels. His tail, once again, I did have to assemble, but I will admit, after soaking it in the warm water, it was the easiest out of the 4 to assemble. It popped right on. So as far as articulation goes, he does have that lower jaw articulation. He does have actually what appears to be a ball joint here at the base of his head, so he can lift his head up a little bit higher than the previous Godzillas we've looked at. He does have also what appears to be he does have a side-to-side swivel here, but it appears to be a ball joint because there is a little bit of forward motion to that as well, there at the base of the neck. Shoulder joint like the other Godzilla, so he can move up and down, forward and back. He does have an elbow joint, so he can bend slightly at the elbow. Now he does not have what it appears to be, he does not have the gripping articulation in his hand or in his claw, but he does have the wrist swivel side to side and forward and back. Now he does have the torso ball joint, but the range is a little bit limited because of those huge dorsal plates. And he does have a large ball jointed hip as well, like the other previous Godzillas we looked at. He does have a knee joint there. It's pretty stiff though. Can't seem to get much motion out of it. And he does have the ankle swivel as well. As far as the tail goes, it's divided up into segments like the previous. So this segment here is on a ball joint, so it moves all around. It's segmented right here again at these two sections, again here, this last segment, and then right here is where the actual bendy part of the tail joins with the ball joint as well. So very cool NES likeness. There he is. Well guys, that wraps up today's PopComplex NECA Godzilla unboxing we have here. So let me know guys in the comments which one was your favorite. The 1954 Godzilla, the 1956 colorized movie poster, the 1964 Mothra Against Godzilla, or the 1989 Monster of Monsters NES Godzilla likeness. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you guys like this video, please hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. PopComplex is really growing right now, so it really helps me out. I also have a Patreon page you can go to, so the link will be in the description, but once again, it is patreon.com/the PopComplex. If you could go there and support the channel, it really helps me out, guys. We've got a lot more videos coming up, so please stay tuned for those. And once again, guys, thanks for watching the PopComplex.